Hello, welcome to another episode in Stories of World War II Veterans. My name is Kayleen Reusser, and each week I will be reading you a story from a book that I have written after interviewing 260 World War II veterans. This book is my number 2 in my World War II Legacies series. It's called They Did It for Honor, Stories of American World War II Veterans. Today's story will be of Army soldier Dale Pence. On November 8th of 1944, Dale Pence of Huntington, Indiana, had just returned to Company I of 134th Infantry in France after receiving a wound to his hip. Unfortunately, again upon entering battle against the Germans, he sustained an even more serious injury. A piece of shrapnel entered the front of his neck, exiting out the right side. "If that piece had hit my carotid, I would have bled to death," he said. Pence had been drafted in May of 1943 and completed basic training at Camp Wolters, Texas, before being sent to Camp Butner in North Carolina. There he was attached to the 35th Army Division, participating in the Tennessee maneuvers from August of 1943 through May 1944. During a leave in January, Pence went home and was married. After the wedding, Pence's wife, Marge, moved in with her family to Huntington. She would be separated from her husband for an indeterminate amount of time, as he and thousands of other troops were ordered to board a ship for Europe. Approximately 5,000 soldiers were on that ship, he said. An armada of destroyers traveled with us for protection. After landing in Liverpool, England in July, the troops advanced to Normandy Beach. It was a few weeks after the famous landing of Allied forces on the French coast, but the area was still dangerous. Fighting continued in the hedgerows along the beach. "We were told to dig foxholes and get in them for cover," said Pence. He was still digging when a German shell exploded near him, badly wounding his hip. Pence was treated by combat medics and transported to England, where he was admitted to a hospital from August through October 1944. Pence returned to his unit. Unfortunately, he was wounded more severely the second time, losing consciousness and opening his eyes long enough to realize he was being carried on a stretcher to a jeep. At a field hospital, Pence was told the explosion had cost him his big toe on his left leg. However, his right leg had sustained even more damage. "My right ankle was a mass of flesh from the explosion," he said. "The damage to my leg was such that doctors made the decision to amputate below the knee." Pence was shipped back to the United States to receive medical attention at Thomas A. England General Hospital in Atlantic City, New Jersey. At the former resort, Pence remained a patient from January through November 1945. During that time, doctors removed more of his damaged leg to allow for a properly fitted wooden prosthesis. Red Cross volunteers helped Pence write letters to Marge, who had received a telegram notifying her of his injury. She traveled by train to visit her husband as often as possible. While the loss of his foot was devastating, Pence worried more about his voice. He wanted to be a teacher. The injury to his throat affected his vocal cords, and for a month he was forced to whisper. By the time his voice returned, it had changed and deepened. "Marge didn't recognize me on the phone," he said. Though he now had a voice, there were limitations. Pence had enjoyed singing, but now was unable to carry a tune. He was discharged and released from medical care in November 1945. He finished his teaching degree and taught at several grade schools before becoming assistant superintendent of schools in Columbia City, Indiana. He and Marge became parents to 2 sons. In addition to the constant reminder of the war each time he dressed, Pence suffered from nightmares. Time eventually healed his painful memories, but he has also always been filled with appreciation for the efforts of the soldiers he served with during the war. I believe if I had been on the beach of Normandy on June 6, 1944, my chances of survival would have been slim, he said. I'm blessed. And here's a picture of Dale Pence. We want to thank him and all of our veterans who have ever served in our military for their service. Today's story came from Book 2 in my World War II Legacies series. They Did It for Honor, Stories of American World War II Veterans. I'm Kayleen Reusser. Please subscribe to the channel. Each week I post a different story to honor our veterans and to increase our patriotism in our family. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Tell a friend about the channel. Take care. I'll be back next week.